Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Just 24 hours after I attended the premiere of Freakier Friday, I am still in my same body. I am still very good looking. I still have my sexy voice, and I am still the host of one of the best YouTube shows about descendants and zombies in the entire universe because of each and every one of you girls who hit my subscribe button. So I am forever grateful for still being Jonathan Clarke this morning and being able to host this show under a mandatory evacuation for half of the city because of a wildfire that is currently in progress. I don't know how I end up in these situations. Just the other night I was shooting a video during a zombie apocalypse and the most severe thunderstorm in the history of this island. I wanted to live on this island because it is incredibly beautiful here. I have lived here, I grew up here, and I had to move away because a lot of assignments I was sent on, a lot of stuff happened to me in my life that was beyond my control. And I moved back on this island several years ago, and I found this house, and ever since I moved into it, people tried to tell me it was haunted. I never ever wanted to believe them. All I ever wanted to do was wake up every morning and have a cup of tea and talk about descendants of zombies for each and every one of you. I thought moving into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant would be insane, but also really awesome, because I would be able to live the whole zombie Seabrook experience, and then everything started happening. Wildfires starting, thunderstorms. It's really crazy here. So right now they have not ordered an evacuation of this half of the city where I live. Apparently I am so many kilometers away from the wildfire, so I'm far enough away where a mandatory evacuation has not been issued. So as long as I can still continue to produce this show for you guys, I'm cool with that. And by the way, if there is a reported alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all while these fires are in progress, well then I'm ready to die. I say this because these girls are incredibly supportive of a guy who hosts a show, who is really sweet, who is really kind, who spreads his own message of kindness every morning of his life. So because I have fallen into this niche and they have fallen in love with me, there is no more incredibly supportive group of girls that I would want to die with at the hands of an alien mothership than these girls who are fans of Descendants and Zombies, because they have seen their fair share of criticism of alien mothership. And if you're coming to kill them, then I'll just have to kick your ass. I'm good to go. Yeah, I've been following that story about the apparent alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all. Apparently it is the size of a football field, and it is going to kill us all within a matter of a few months. So I guess it just goes to show, how we really take some things in our lifetime for granted, and we really don't put into perspective how special some moments are that we cherish with others. I think that if I was in possession of a pocket watch, I would try to go back in time and fix some of the mistakes that I've made in my life, that I've often regretted, that I wish I had time back to go back and fix, as difficult as it may be, to fix some of those mistakes. I think we all have wanted and dreamed of having a second chance, probably because of a relationship, probably because of a family member we haven't really seen eye to eye with or talked to in forever. Perfect example of this was just the other day when my girlfriend celebrated her birthday, and one of her friends commented on one of her photos and said that she hadn't talked to her or seen her in a really long time, and the two of them got really emotional, exchanging text messages back and forth. And as I was reading down through her comments, because I really do appreciate, I've never ever told her this, or maybe I've tried to tell her this, but I don't know if she watches the show or not. But I really, really love how her girlfriends are so supportive of her and how she is so supportive of them. And I've really promoted this, and I've really tried to encourage this, because we never see enough of this in our lifetime, where two girls bond and they stay friends for forever. And she is fortunate enough to have probably 4 or 5 really good friends. She doesn't have a whole lot of friends, but she has 4 or 5 really good friends that she bonded with when she was really young, ever since childhood. And she's still friends with them. And she's still so incredibly supportive of her as they are of her. And I love it so much. So oftentimes I will email them. I will tell them, thank you so much for being there for her when I couldn't be because of assignments I was sent on. Oftentimes in my life I couldn't make sense of what was happening around me. And I will admit to you guys, sometimes I was really difficult to deal with because I couldn't make sense of my own life, but it was never the girl's fault that I was with. I was with many girls over the years, both in professional wrestling and for entertainment and just, in everyday life, and sometimes life was really difficult. So it was really nice for me seeing girls always have this bond, kind of like Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker's bond from Descendants fame. I love their friendship, let me just say this, and I am incredibly supportive of that friendship. I don't know why so many reviewers on YouTube, so many YouTubers will criticize Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker's friendship. It's because they have nothing else better to talk about. That's the conclusion I've drawn. Here I am this morning fearing for my life in the progress of a wildfire, in the middle of a wildfire, and I'm talking about how Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker's friendship needs to be secured, because it really does. Because we only have one life to live, and we really have to make the most of every opportunity that we're given, every single chance that we have, because sometimes chances come in disguise, and they come in different forms. Every day in your life you will meet somebody who will ultimately go down in history for being one of the most special people that you've ever had the opportunity to meet. I've met some really remarkable people in some of the most bizarre situations, like at the movies, at Halloween parties, and then came to find out they were vampires because they thought they were actual vampires because of a disease they were suffering with. But they were incredibly sweet people. I've met people under the most bizarre circumstances, kind of like how this show started from out of nowhere. I never ever thought 15 years ago, when my career was the heights of shit, I would have the opportunity to create a show about Descendants and Zombies where so many girls would have fallen in love with it. And if one of the guys that I was hosting a show with years ago on the radio, before I ever premiered on YouTube, probably back in 2001, 2002, would have told me 20 years from that point in time in my life, when I was probably 17, 18 years old. Yeah, I would have been 17 in 2001. I was a really good-looking guy growing up in high school, too. I was probably the best-looking guy in school, as you can tell. But yeah, if they were to look at me and tell me that I would have started up a show about Descendants and Zombies, and I would be one of the most popular Descendants and Zombies show presently now on YouTube, I probably would have told you you're crazy. Now, I've been on YouTube for a very long time. I've been on YouTube for the better part of 20 years. When Lindsay Lohan was a teenager, I was uploading some of my very first videos. Lindsay Lohan, Ashley Tisdale was in the prime of her career. I grew up with those girls, so I was a millennial, so I was born around the same time that Ashley Tisdale and Lindsay Lohan were born, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Melissa Joan Hart, was at the heights of her popularity, Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I had the honor of covering a lot of people and talking about a lot of people that I was really fond of and really proud to know and get to know over the years, like the Pink Power Ranger, and I'm talking original Pink Power Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson caliber. So now, 25 years later, I'm talking about Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker, and I feel so honored to talk about them. So why would I devote my time and all of my energy to criticizing Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker? I think my purpose of ever having created the show would pretty much be defeated if I were to do that. If I were to tell you that the release window for Descendants Wicked Wonderland is not going to happen until 2028, that would really be discouraging you from every dream you've ever had, and I never ever wanted to do that. All I've ever wanted to do, as I finish my cup of tea this morning, is tell you how I'm so excited about Descendants and Zombies Worlds Collide, how I'm so excited about Descendants and Zombies Wicked Wonderland and Zombies 5. I for one am really excited. There is a garbage truck outside my window. I think I remembered to put my garbage out this morning. Come to think of it, I don't know if I did or not. Because I shoot these shows, it's only like 8:48 a.m. in the morning, and I am shooting a podcast, so excuse the garbage truck. I think I did put my garbage out, so I should be good. And you're saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, man, you really are a hero. Not only are you shooting a Descendants and Zombies podcast during a wildfire and survived the most severe thunderstorm in the history of your island, but you also remember to put your garbage out. You are my hero forever. Oh, thank you. I'm very courageous. That's why I've always wanted to be the Prince of Descendants, because I've always wanted to look at Kylie Cantrell and say, no matter what circumstances she was faced with or what pressure she was under, don't worry, Red. You'll find your light. I love you so much, Bridget. Please don't ever leave me. There is a certain way I think that chemistry is created for these Disney movies, and I know they go through like 500 auditions of probably 300 different girls till they find the right one that matches with the perfect soulmate, if you would. I know that they did that with Cloud9 with Dove Cameron years ago when they had that chemistry test between Dove Cameron and Luke Bernard, and Dove Cameron apparently was so intimidated by his presence. I've often wondered how these stars would feel about my presence after my resume definitely speaks for itself, but I would have loved the opportunity to have been Kylie Control's love interest in Descendants, and that's why I say that, because I just have this very powerful voice that has always been related to Descendants. Having my voice on the soundtrack for Descendants for the better part of the last 10 years has really been an honor, and there's just something about my voice without it on the soundtrack of Descendants. I don't think that it would really make a whole lot of sense to a lot of people. I guess just listening to my voice has really help you make sense of Descendants more than probably anyone else perhaps on YouTube, because I know how it goes. I mean, there are a lot of videos uploaded. Just last night there were probably 5 new Descendants videos uploaded, and every one of them was incorporated with AI, and it was ridiculous. It was absolutely frustrating. How these videos are created, I don't know for the life of me how they're getting so many views and so many subscribers. But I'm here to help you make sense of it all, and I'm here to alleviate all that pressure and all that stress of finding Descendants and Zombies videos, because what's happening here are people are recognizing the popularity of Descendants and Zombies, and they are taking advantage of it by uploading these videos that really make no sense to anybody, and it made no sense to me for what feels like forever, because I've been on YouTube for a very long time, and I've created a lot of videos. I've uploaded over 4,000 videos, and I haven't used AI not one single time or opportunity that I may have had to create any video, no matter what I was talking about, no matter if it was Lindsay Lohan, Hannah Montana, High School Musical, Ashley Tisdale, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Amy Jo Johnson, whoever I was talking about, because I was a fan of everybody, and I thought every girl on Disney Channel was incredibly beautiful. I was even in love with Bridget Mendler at one point. And Bridget Mendler is somebody who I haven't seen anything about or heard anything about for a very long time, but I want people like Lindsay Lohan and Bridget Mendler to know that I have never forgotten about them, and I love them so much. No matter how much time I devote to Descendants and Zombies, I will always remember the original girls who made me a celebrity overnight. But without question, in this generation, and having been a part of a generation for over 40 years, I've been a part of every generation for Disney for forever. For instance, yesterday was the biggest adult movie for Disney that I think I've ever attended in my life. It honestly was. There were more adults at the Freakier Friday premiere than there were kids. Now, probably 75% of them were kids of all different ages and age demographics. I'm not saying that. But this was an incredible experience for me, because I saw so many adults attending a movie that I didn't expect to attend the movie. I just pre-booked my tickets, and I went online, and when they showed me the seats that were available, over 75 to 80% of the theater had been pre-booked. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to go to the movies, and I'm going to sit down with a bunch of kids, and I'm going to watch this movie. It's going to be crazy. I'm probably going to get killed before I, get out of the movie, not make it out alive. And then when I went in, there were more adults there than were actually kids. I think about 75% of them were within my age demographic, and I thought this was really cool. So then I got thinking about the age demographic that Descendants attracts, and I thought about the crowd at the Worlds Collide Tour, and it pretty much reminded me of that, because not only were there kids, the girls who loved it so much, but there were also parents who were so honored to have their kids there. So they made it extra special for you too. Not only did they make it special for you and sacrifice so much because they had to spend money and get you to the concert and then buy you merchandise, which was really expensive, they also made it really special for you, and you made it special for them, because you guys really glowed at the Worlds Collide Tour. I know I come on here every morning and I suffer with a zombie infection and my voice sounds really messed up and I have a pale complexion. What is that garbage truck doing? It's been out there for it's moving out now. I guess it has something to do with the zombie apocalypse and the outbreaking of wildfires. So these wildfires started like 3 days ago, and yesterday when I was at the movies, I have this thing where I go to movies and an emergency alert issued by the government will come up on my phone. So I'll be there watching, I was watching a movie a couple of weeks ago, and then this emergency alert came up on my phone about how apparently cinema theater ceilings were collapsing in the United States while I was watching a movie. And I was like, oh my god, I was watching Final Destination, Bloodlines at the time, and I was like, oh my god, I hope this doesn't happen to me. And then just yesterday, I was watching Freakier Friday, and this emergency alert pops up on my phone from the government about an issued mandatory evacuation because of an apparent wildfire. And I was like, oh my god. I was just following it on the news, and I was saying to myself, man, I'm going to have to stop going to movies, because every time I go to a movie, I almost die. So if by the time that I end up in Descendants, there is a chance that we could be involved in, I don't know, a massive explosion. And then all the stage productions that I was involved with, like Phantom of the Opera, and that night where I almost became Phantom of the Opera because the stage light exploded, and then I had to get up from the tech area, go up on the catwalk, was dangling for my life, almost died, fell into a vat of acid like the Joker from Batman. I mean, my life. I don't know how I end up in these situations. I really don't. But I think that a lot of people create these videos on Descendants and Zombies to really shed light on the negativity of it, because there's a real negative vibe that these people create about Descendants and Zombies and try to present for you. So they say, okay, we've seen enough Descendants movies, we don't need to see another chapter, this has happened, we don't need to see this happen again, Bridget says goodbye at the end of Descendants: The Rise of Red, goodbye to her character. I don't want to believe in any of that. Because I think Bridget is a beautiful character, such a beautiful soul, who I would love to work with, honestly. I would love to be Bridget's love interest in that movie. I think that every girl in that franchise deserves to find love in one way or another, or in some capacity, or some form. Why are there people being left brokenhearted at the ends of these Descendants movies? Yes, perhaps to create another chapter, and to give us hope, but I don't think any of the girls deserve to be left brokenhearted, just as I don't think any of you deserve to be brokenhearted by some idiot guy that can't prioritize you or see you for what your worth is. I think that a guy who can't see you for what your true worth is really doesn't respect you, or either that or just doesn't want to respect you for what your true worth is, because there are so many beautiful girls out there with so many incredible talents. Some of you love to paint, some of you love to write music, some of you like to run, some of you like to swim, some of you like to play volleyball, some of you like to play track and field, some of you like to play baseball. It's really cool. And I'm going to let you guys a little secret. I love girls who can paint. I've always loved girls who are artists. I think it is absolutely incredible that a girl can actually take a piece of canvas and draw something so incredibly beautiful. And I know this because I've seen it with my own two eyes. Years ago, I had the opportunity to visit one of my friends, and he was an artist. And I didn't know this, but he knew how to draw the most phenomenal drawings that I've ever seen in my life of superheroes. So I was a really big fan of Spider-Man. So he showed me his artist room, his studio. He opened up the door one time. He said to me, I have to show you this. When he opened up the door, he had these life-size drawings of Spider-Man all over his studio, and all these different Marvel characters, and I was blown away by it. And from that moment on, I knew I wanted to devote my life to creating a show about Marvel, about Descendants, about Disney. It was so much fun. Perhaps he knew I was a huge fan of Marvel, like Meg Donnelly. Which I really appreciate from Meg being is a huge fan of Marvel. She likes Deadpool and Spider-Man and SpongeBob. She has a really beautiful personality, and this is what I'm talking about. There are so many girls out there that have so many remarkable talents that are overshadowed by a guy's inner desires about what he wants to get the most of a relationship for. I think that if you spent more time trying to get to know each other and really put the interests of somebody over something else, what are they doing with that garbage truck? I'm going to have to file a complaint to the city. Ever since these wildfires started, everything's been happening. Stuff's been blowing up. Garbage trucks outside my door. Oh, man. Google, remind me. Google's not even listening. Ever since I set up that Nest Hub, I think this Nest Hub, not only this house, but the Nest Hub is haunted. It never ever pays attention to anything that I do. But yeah, I really do love creating these videos for you guys, and as long as there is no mandatory evacuation having been issued, I will be able to create these videos for you. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to evacuate. Come to think of it, I have never, in all the time that I spent in Alaska, up in the mountains with jaguars and snow leopards and everything else that could kill you, I never ever had to go through a mandatory evacuation for all the years that I spent living in Alaska, and that is not fun. I lived in the Yukon for like over half of my life, and that was not fun before I moved back home. And believe you me, when you can't see the ocean, oh my God, that really affects you. So I really appreciate how the cast of Descendants were in British Columbia, and they shot Descendants 5 like a Wonderland and Descendants: The Rise of Red there, because the water is incredibly beautiful and incredibly warm, for those of you who don't know, around that time of the year when they shoot Descendants. The ocean here is really beautiful too, so it's beyond me why the cast of Descendants did not choose this island to shoot it on, because this island really does remind me of Oregon. There are so many places here that are just incredibly beautiful. And I really think that Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell would have an eternal smile on their face having the opportunity to shoot it here. Plus, then they would have the opportunity to have the movie directed by me, which can only happen if you girls hit my subscribe button and get me in as the writer and producer of Descendants. Because if that happens, oh man, Descendants is going to be better than it ever has before. More characters, more of a storyline will be unfolded and unveiled. I am going to fire every member of the social media department so they don't have to be afraid of what they can and can't say or can and can't post on social media. It's really frustrating when you don't have creative freedom, and I think that creative freedom is long overdue for the cast of Descendants, because they have so much inspiration from, having watched this franchise years ago. Like, you take Kylie Cantrell, for example, and Ruby Rose Turner, who watched this franchise ever since they were 9 years old. I mean, that's over a decade ago for Ruby and a decade ago for Kylie also. So, I mean, they grew up with the songs, they grew up with the characters, they always wanted to be like them. So why not give them an opportunity if the other cast never had the opportunity to do? And that's have creative control of their characters rather than having someone like Kenny Ortega or Kimmy Gatewood looking at them in the face saying, this is how you have to do it. This is what has to happen. I don't think this is necessarily what has to happen. It's what everybody wants to have happen. It's not maybe what the fan wants to see or wants to have happen. It's always what the creative directors want to have happen for their franchise, so that the future, in their eyes, is secured for how they want it secured. Are the character traits of Red really what Kylie Cantrell wants to be putting out there? Are the character traits of Chloe Charming really what Mila Baker wants to be putting it out there for? Is this really who Kylie Cantrell is? I don't necessarily think it is. Because, Kylie Cantrell is on the Descendants franchise, the poster of the Descendants franchise. Her face is on this, and she's portraying such a fearless character. And then 24 hours later, last year in February, I go on TikTok and I see this video where Kylie Cantrell is crying her eyes out over a boyfriend and her political point of view having been dragged into a conversation where it had no business being dragged into. So you have this fearless character being portrayed on the Descendants franchise as the face of it. And then on the other side of the spectrum, 24 hours later, she's posting videos where she's crying because she can't make sense of life because of all the criticism she's faced with. We need to stop. And that's one of the reasons why I created this YouTube channel, was because I really feel as if people are really criticizing people like Kylie and Malia for far long enough, either because of their friendship, because of how this is apparently happening, this is reportedly happening. It's ridiculous. And I just wanted to take that away from them. I wanted people like Kylie Cantrell and Meg Donnelly and Mila Baker and Ruby Rose Turner to know that it was okay to Google and YouTube themselves. Because I don't think there is no reason for a girl to fall asleep every night crying her eyes out over what articles she's reading on Google of how people are feeling about her. Can somebody please feel honored to know who these girls are? Because am I the only guy out there that feels honored to know who they are outside of the fans? Because the fans of Descendants, as far as I'm concerned, are very supportive of who they love and what they want. And they let us know that through the power of the lyrics of the songs, through the power of the script of Descendants, how they see themselves vicariously through the eyes of these beautiful... Why does that garbage truck keep coming back? Excuse me a second. I've got a garbage truck outside my... How far is it now? Oh my God. There's like 2 garbage trucks out there. Stuff must really be blowing up. I'm going to have to bolt. I sure hope I don't have to evacuate, because I have nothing prepared for a zombie apocalypse. This is what I've been telling you guys on all these videos. You can never be too prepared for a zombie apocalypse. You never know at any given moment when this is going to happen, when shit's really going to hit the fan. And I haven't even been to the dollar store this morning. I'm congested. I got a zombie infection apparently going through my blood. And there are garbage trucks outside my window. Oh my God. I think there's a trash compactor, and it's headed right for my house. Relax, Jonathan. Everything will be okay. So, if I haven't evacuated by, say, 2 o'clock this afternoon, by 2 p.m., I will have another video uploaded for you about Descendants of Zombies. That's provided I'm not evacuated. But if I'm not evacuated, I will be back in at 2 p.m. And as far as I know, I don't have to evacuate. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. I, for one, honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you, because this has been a really powerful experience of mine that I will never forget, one that I will never ever forget, and I will forever cherish, because I honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you. I would probably have been infected and have become a zombie and would have zombied out by now if not for each and every one of you. And I have each and every one of you to thank for how incredibly supportive you are of me. So I guess the only thing left to say is that dreams really do happen and can come true for you, and that all you have to do is stay calm and zombie on regardless of what your situation is, because you will find your light. As I said millions of times on this show, from the very first video that was uploaded, when I had some of the very first subscribers first subscribe to this YouTube channel, whom I've never forgotten about, who I know are still watching out there, and as girls continue to subscribe and outpour their heart with love and support for this YouTube channel, I just want to say thank you so much, because I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. Trust in me, and just know that you will find your light. With that having been said, I will be back in a couple of hours from now, and we will do this all over again and have a whole lot of fun doing it. Stay calm, zombie on, guys, and keep love in your heart, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. We will do this again and talk again in a few hours from now.